Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Just want to do a quick video update. I wanted to talk about this last week, but I didn't get enough time to get around to do a video going for it. So I'm doing it now, and about 4 years ago, at the age of 24, I was given some advice that really resonated with me, really still holds a lot of ground fundamentally to how I approach my personal finances. And at the age of 24, newly married, my wife and I wanting to start a family, it really triggered me wanting to take some action on how I approached my personal finances and my future. And we were on the move to really go into starting a 401k plan, possibly getting into the stock market. Those were the type of things that we were thinking about getting into. And right at that time, I would say 2 to 3 different friends of ours now came into our lives and gave us some advice about gaining freedom over your finances. And I would say about a couple of months ago, I was interacting with a client, and we got to talking about finance and about the economy. And she ended up letting me in on her personal situation and how she was working a lot of hours and how she was away from her 2 sons and her husband, but how she could never really seem to get ahead or was having difficulties making ends meet, to be honest. And so I told her this advice that, like I said, was given to me. And I told her that the US dollar, as we know, was taken away from the gold standard. And silver was taken away from or withdrawn from production of our coinage back in 1964. And in 1964, a gallon of gas cost 25 cents, or about 25 cents. So you could buy a gallon of gasoline for a quarter. Well, in 1964, quarter has 90% silver content in it. And what I told her was, if you had that same 1964 quarter today with the metal silver content worth almost $4, you could still buy the same amount of gasoline today with that 1964 quarter that you could literally back in 1964. And that's how much the US dollar has devalued since 1964. Over a close to 40-year period or so. 40, 50-year period. And let's fast forward to just a couple of weeks ago. This same woman comes into my office, and she starts telling me how she's been, hey, Freddie, I've been buying silver. So, of course, that catches my attention, and I tell her, well, what triggered that? Well, that advice about how you could still buy the same amount of gasoline in 1964 that you can today because of silver. And she said, I really awoke to what honest money is. And historically, biblically, for 6,000 years, that gold and silver have been true money. And so she told me how her and her husband talked it over, and at the end of the month, after paying their bills, they take whatever they can. If it's a tenth of ounce of silver, 1 ounce coin, they buy whatever they can. And over this couple of month period that I hadn't seen her, they had stacked a pretty good amount of silver. And that's not the central idea about this story. It's not about stacking, and it's not about really a silver community. How important that is, to have people in a community that are like-minded and have researched the truth and the future behind this economic system, monetary system. It's very important to have those things, but the central idea behind this story is that from a couple of weeks ago when I looked at her, I could see peace in her eyes, peace radiating from her. I could see patience in her, little to no frustration. It really was not even the same person that I met 2 months ago. A woman that was hopeless about her financial situation, hopeless about her children's, her 2 sons' future, to seeing a woman that did some simple things, put them into action, and is seeing results. Not just, tangible results and seeing your purchasing power being preserved and seeing your wealth grow. Not just that, but spiritually. Knowing that she's not bound to a system, that she's free. Free to enjoy the time with her family. Free to enjoy the time in her community with the people around her. And so that's what I wanted to get out in this video today. We left that meeting together both so encouraged by one another. Encouraged by the fact that I had a hand in planting a seed in somebody's mind about true money, honest money, and then that woman putting it into action and seeing the results, seeing the patience and the little to no frustration and the peace. I think that's the witness right there. I think that's what the idea is. So if you guys have any inspiring stories from the silver community, I just love to hear them. Leave them in the comment box below. If this story was beneficial or inspiring to you,